Stop throwing the quarters at me. I need this. Could have turned it up a little bit more. It's just not loud in here. For the people that's online, they know why I'm just sitting here. Like that may not be listening online, like the ones that may not be listening online, but actually like watching the live feeds. Right? So we on the website. Not to get your numbers up. Say what I say. They can blast it as loud as they want. You got 30 seconds. Oh, they faded early. Don't watch your 30 seconds. Good evening, wonderful people. As always, thank you guys for joining me this evening. I definitely, as always, appreciate each and every one of you for your support, your continued support. Whether you're on live with me on Instagram or Facebook, or you're joining over the internet. Thank you, as always, for your support. Make sure you guys are following us on all social media handles at Conversations with She, as well as the radio station at NLG Radio DC. The link is in their bio that allows you to go to the website to see some of the other shows that we have, as well as to tap the link and listen live. Today, today I'm gonna be a little bit more serious. We're gonna take a little bit more serious approach to and be the conversation starter and the thought provoker for the current state of our communities across the United States. Tonight I have titled my show State of Emergency Senseless Violence in Our Communities. I'll be speaking more specifically to something I said in episode 1 and it actually being applied in our community. And that was each one, reach one, teach one, as a way to initiate and ignite some sort of change in the amount of senseless acts of violence in our communities. Trying to come up with ways that we can reach back to our younger generations and kind of just pull them out of the streets, to let them know that there is more to life, even if this is something that you were brought up on, and even the people of our generation. You just never know how you can help somebody that may be about to make a decision that's going to change multiple people's lives outside of their own in a negative and derogatory manner. So I want to be the conversation starter, because maybe me being the conversation starter, maybe someone can tell me what it is that I can do to help reach back and bring more people to be able to just be on. We need more entrepreneurs. We just need more people doing more positive things and making more positive changes in our community. And so I want to be the conversation starter. So when I do open up my phone lines, I would love for you guys to call in. I would love to hear your feedback. Over the last few weeks, there have definitely been some highly publicized murders of people from here in this area and others that weren't from here. And then there are some that weren't highly publicized, but they happened right here in our backyard, as they always do, as they always do in many communities. But again, just the spike in it really concerns me. I have a son, so it definitely makes me think like on a whole nother spectrum now. The sad and appalling thing is that, most of these senseless murders have been some of our black kings that actually stood for something, who were well respected, loved by many. They gave back to their communities. They made a name for themselves. They rose above the things that they started out doing as teenagers. They rose above those things and they actually made names for themselves. And, they loved everybody that they came in contact with. They showed love too. They showed endless love to everybody that they came in contact with. And it's just really sad that they're being taken at an increasingly alarming and rapid rate. I'm on social media a lot less lately. I'm tired of opening up my social media and seeing rest in peace to these kings and queens, because we're losing some queens to senseless violence too. Let's not be blind to the fact that it's both male and female being killed on a regular basis. Some would say that this isn't anything new. We know that. We know that the killings and the senseless violence is nothing new. But what we do from this point forward is very pertinent, and I think it's time that somebody starts the conversation. There's definitely conversations being had about it, but we just need to know if I don't know about the conversations being had, so I want to highlight this now. So there may be somebody that's listening in can put me in touch with the persons or that I need to know, so that I can do what I need to do to play my part. And then others I've heard say it's selective outrage, or that we should have been taking a stand for violence in the community. Listen, we're moving forward. So, and it's not really selective outrage. And I think sometimes it's certain things spark different things in different people. Some people, they may be able to sweep it under the rug, or they may be sweeping it under the rug because they don't know what they need to do. Or who they need to be in touch with. So it's not really selective outrage. Maybe they're just really being like, you know what, this is a problem. This is a problem that clearly is not going to end. So now I want to be the change. I want to be the change. Again, if we each one reach one, teach one. We all play our part. We can definitely make such a tremendous change that I don't think people realize that, the difference that we can actually make. When there's no blueprint or foundation set before you, it's very easy for you to be passive about certain things. But enough is enough. The increase in senseless acts of violence is ridiculous. I've known probably, I'd say since January alone, about 4 or 5 people outside of the 2 highly publicized murders. One, of course, is a celebrity, but he's still a human being. So it doesn't make his death null and void because it wasn't here in the district, the district, Maryland or Virginia area. He's still a human being. He still was a king. He still was giving back to the community and doing something and making a difference. I want everybody to tune in. What I'm going to do now is the phone number is 202-299-6673. I'm not going to open up the lines yet. But when I do open up the lines, I would really like, again, as I stated earlier, for my listeners to contribute. And if you're listening right now or you're tuned in online on either of my live feeds, text somebody and tell them to tune in. Give them the web address, www.nlgradio.com. All they have to do is go to the website, tap listen live. Tell somebody, tune in. I think, again, there's powers in numbers. There's power in numbers, excuse me. So tell somebody else to tune in. Tell somebody else what we're speaking of. So maybe you could text somebody that actually knows something about what I'm asking, as far as us finding a platform to bring people together and just take them out the streets, because ultimately there's nothing there. I mean, we could come up with a platform where we're teaching people how to be entrepreneurs. I'd rather do that. Teaching them how to be entrepreneurs and how to bring other people with them. So again, I just want to reach back to our generations and generations to come in a more positive way. I'm going to play this song before we get started. While you all tell somebody to tell somebody else to tune in, we're going to go to the Nipsey Hussle song. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle, and thank you for your contributions to making a difference in the community. We'll be right back. I'm tired. Hey guys.
Yes, I use tired right on.
Okay. Look, all these people that's on live right now, I can guarantee you, they know me on a regular basis. They around me on a regular basis. They don't. Listen. No cut calls. You drinking cold.
I have to actually post it.
Listen, I'm telling you. Thank you guys for joining me. Definitely tell somebody to tune in and listen. Ooh, look at these baby heads. They should pop it. Anybody that's on live, I can guarantee they already know I'm goofy as hell. So, I mean, you gonna get all this goofiness today. Because you know I ain't coming here like this. You know I ain't coming here like this. Huh? Thank you, girl. Yes, hey. Ooh, you see this hair, girl? Because they look like something today. Hey guys. You haven't seen my hair down?
In like a long time.
I know, because I've been trying to, I got to preserve these edges. You know what I'm saying? Hey guys. We had a song right now, but.
Can I get 3 people? Can I get 3 people to follow Energy Radio Instagram?
What's your Oh. If y'all on Instagram, follow NLG Radio DC. Yes, me. Oh, thank you, butter. I appreciate it. Ramsey. Straight here, don't care. NLG Radio DC on Instagram. Oh, thank you, Tay. Yeah, I'm on 2 different lives, but we're a song right now. If you just joining us on any of my live feeds, we are talking about a state of emergency and senseless violence in our communities. If you guys know anybody that's in the community doing that type of work, definitely text them really quickly and let them know to tune in. And I would really love for them to call the show. I would really love for them to call the show so that we could have this conversation. Seriously. Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, so we're back. Listen, again, if you guys know anybody that's doing community work, that's reaching our youth, even people of our same age bracket, I would definitely love if you would tell them to join in so that they could call in and we can have this conversation, and all of my listeners can hear it. We can have this interactive conversation about how we can reach and touch the people of our communities to let them know that this senseless violence is just really not the way. Listen, it's to the point, I swear, I tell you, honestly, y'all, I look at the news. I don't even look at the news like that. I'm not even going to lie to you. I can't stomach the news anymore. And it may be a very bad habit, but it just seems like, and I know that this is what the news has been, made to do, but I am tired of seeing just like, again, these senseless acts of violence, and it's like they hide, like they just make it more than, I mean, I'm gonna say make it more than what it is, because anytime somebody gets killed, it is important. It is important for people to know what's going on in their communities. I get it, but I am so tired of seeing our kings and queens being taken from us prematurely to these senseless acts of violence. I cannot stress it enough. You're gonna hear me say that multiple times tonight, but it's because I really am feeling some type of way about it. I have a son, so I'm terrified. I'm appalled. I'm tired, and clearly, it's just something needs to be done. You know, it's bad enough that in the society that we're living in, the days that we're living in, we are losing people to the hands of officers without so much as a slap on the wrist. And we're watching them do this, and we have this anger towards these officers for them, you know, being let go and not having no type of consequence. But how do you feel when the stuff is like literally happening right in your backyard? Does it matter only when it's somebody that you know? Or does it matter just because this is another life being taken? And I get that people are out in the street and there's consequences for being in the street and doing things that you shouldn't be doing. I get it. I do. I get that, you know, when you're in the streets, you know, there's a certain code. I get all that. I get the codes of the street and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, how many lives have to be taken away from us? How many lives have to be taken away from us before we say, you know what, let's take a stand and all go into the community and actually be assertive in making sure that the ones who think that this is the only resort or the only way to go know that it's not. Education is important. Like, ultimately, we can put together programs that have weekly events, monthly events, yearly events, that just pretty much let them know, like, this, you come here. This is your safe haven here. The streets don't love nobody. I get it. And ultimately, I mean, if you're out there in the streets doing something that you're not supposed to do, it may come back to you. I understand that as well. I do. And I'm not naive to any of that. However, because I'm not naive to any of that, grew up around some of that stuff, let's do something about it. Let's do something about it. I mean, I know there's plenty of things to do, but where do we start? So I'm going to open up my phone lines. 202-299-6673. What do you guys think is the start to us making a difference in our communities? I mean, most of us have children. Most of us have children. And for us that are raising boys, we have to, the ones of us that are raising boys, I don't understand how y'all aren't terrified. I don't understand how you guys don't really think that this is important, especially because these are boys that could possibly be influenced to be in the street. I mean, we can teach our kids all day long the right path to go on. And they may stray for a little bit, but if we continue to do what we need to do to be present, they gonna come back. So 202-299-6673. I would really, really, really like to hear what you guys think. Oh, and these two sitting in the studio with me, they don't know that I'm about to pull them on too, because I really would like to know what they think is a good start. What do you guys think is a good start? If you're going to call in 202-299-6673, what's a good start for making a change in the community with the violence, the increase in violence? Somebody said, talk is cheap. In order for change, there needs to be action. Exactly. So what is our first plan? What is our first step? What is our first step in making a difference? A valuable, indelible difference. One that will be noteworthy. One that will actually insight and ignite. I'm going to use the word ignite because whatever it is that we can come up with, I needed to ignite something inside of you that's so passionate that you're going to, like, it's going to be the only thing that you're going to want. I'm not going to say the only thing that you want to do, but it's going to be the only thing that seemingly matters. Again, making the change is not easy. And we can talk about it all day long. Yes, we can. We can talk about it all day long. But if we're not doing anything about it, then talk does nothing but go in one ear and out the other. I get it. But again, 202-299-6673. Guys, call in. I'm interested in hearing what you have to say. So, I have a couple of questions while I wait to see if you guys are going to call in. So, what do you guys think about what do you guys think about how the social media, you know, is like these outpours, you know, and then it's like I read a comment. I wanted to know what people thought, but I read somebody comment and say, you know, and it's so crazy. It's messed up. Y'all only care because the media put it out there. Now this is a reference. Now this is 2 deaths back to back. You know, Cliff Dixon, rest in peace. Everything that I saw about him was love. Same thing with Nipsey Hussle. Everything I saw about him was love. And everything about that people said about both of them was that they both gave back to the community in multiple ways. And that they made sure they reached back and they brought people with them. Someone said, you know, y'all only care about the deaths of these people because social media is putting it in your face. If social media didn't put these deaths in your faces, you wouldn't care. And I was like, wait, that's crazy. I mean, when anybody passes away or is killed, especially in the senseless ways that they were killed, why wouldn't you care? Why would it take why would social media need to be the reason why someone actually cares about a death? Oh, y'all don't publicize the deaths in your community? I mean, no, maybe not as much as the ones that are, you know, high profile people, but at the end of the day, a death is a death is a death. I don't know, but we're gonna play another Nipsey Hussle song because somebody requested this, and then we're gonna see if you guys come to the phone lines. The best way to help the community is to first work on thyself. That's a good one too. We're gonna go to this song and we'll be right back. 202-299-6673. I'm tired. I'm motherfucking tired.
I ain't no liquor tonight.
Girl, I'm like, I wouldn't even drink tonight, quite honestly.
I was like, I don't know, girl.
Oh, Nate, you ready to you ready to
And I gotta get up early.
I ain't talking about whatever you want to talk about. I already got to talk at 8 o'clock.
about that comment? Okay. Oh yeah, then I gotta let me remember to I forgot to put this.
You want to plug over here? You want to plug over here?
Yeah, but I probably can just plug it right now. I don't have to do all of that too. Oh, damn.
What you want?
For me, you know what I'm saying? Atmosphere and the windows are open.
I need to look up something.
What is it? Can you do it like that?
Yeah, but you might lose it. The dentist office is next door.
Come in, guys. It's Friday night too.
In your life.
No, it's nobody on that one.
Okay, good.
They all on this one over here.
About the same.
It's in the mall, but it's in the back.
Right.
They have
Real artist.
You dry, look at it. Only thing she popping is not her.
You don't have to come through back.
Only thing she popping.
At the mall, it's right around the corner. And we don't have anybody else around. You got somebody on that side of this.
Thank you.
Jesus, what
I need to look this up before I come back on. So can you let that play a little bit longer?
She had to tell me.
What you gonna do? Oh, it's only 15 seconds.
Yeah.
I think I
You
told
want me to go to another song?
So I'm glad she, I gotta give you my number
I'm just waiting for you to give it to me because no one has time for
I'm
you.
gonna give it to me.
You've been on Messenger more than I've ever seen since I've been in the cheese. So I'm going to give you that.
I don't be doing that messenger.
You are responsive
But
to
that's
me.
the only way I have to get
Oh,
in
he gonna
contact.
ask him.
So yes, I'm gonna get
Black girl.
You want to go into it now?
Yep. Tasia, what you laughing at? We going into another song. Sorry, y'all.
So look, I was looking at Lonnie B today, right?
Is it? Oh. Oh, yeah.
She was in the lobby.
Oh, I don't want to talk to she.
I put on another song.
Yeah, I was looking at Lonnie B's video today, right? Y'all got to be him.
It's Andy reached out to him already.
But he was finishing up his video, right? And somebody was calling him, one of his friends, right? And he still had the video on his phone playing and didn't know it. I know somebody already hit him up and told him. He was like, "Hey, Aaron." He was like, "Lonnie, that such and such is mean as shit." He was like, "What? What happened?" He was like, "Hold on. I'm going to call him. I'm going to put him on the 3-way. Be quiet, bitch." I was like, he does not know we heard his part of his personal conversation.
I think I'm going to go see him in June for my
I want to
birthday.
get a ticket, too.
I think I'm going to go.
I want to get a ticket, too. I haven't decided yet. I'm just saying.
It's crazy shit I came across this picture.
Huh?
Came across this picture of an interview I did with Crank Shop.
Uh-huh.
I didn't even know where it was. It was in my whole other
Hey,
phone.
Nate, what happened to Peach?
How long we had on this song?
You don't got to play the whole thing.
Is
Nate,
that like a joke? Don't nobody want to say?
No, I was literally asking her how long she wanted me to go with the song.
no, yeah.
Oh.
She just wasn't committed.
And I only asked that because.
And you call me next on the radio. I'd like to go live with conversations with you.
And I was, for some reason.
Okay,
I
hold on
saw
one
post
second.
today
She's on a
that
music
said,
break, and we come right back. We'll connect you in.
Say your
I'm
name
not
and where they
with
from.
the radio anymore. Like, and I was like, oh, I didn't know. So instead of me, I'm just asking.
Yeah. There were some things we needed her to do. She wasn't.
I'm trying to find
You know you can speak freely with me.
Oh, I know that. I know that.
And just say what the fuck it was.
She was just doing too much. Let's put it that way.
Because I'm going to give you my opinion. I mean, I'm just saying, y'all know I always talk about the vibe. I'm a vibe. I'm seriously. You know, I could just like be around a person. I can already.
Yes, Boys in the Hood. I was waiting for somebody to say that this was from
I
Boys in
don't
the
like
Hood.
that person. But you just know this ain't somebody you really trying to fuck with like that. That's personal, but it's just, I know our energy is not going to fucking line up. And I knew that first time we had that meeting and she went off on the other dude.
It was a girl?
What was his name?
June.
June. And he was nice. He was sitting there talking to me. He was like, you know, your show is really nice. I was vibing with June.
He
I ain't
said
had
Ricky.
shit to do with none of that other
Yep.
stuff, and I felt like it was very inappropriate to
After Ricky
address
got
that
killed.
that way
Yep.
in front of me to him about B-Man, and B-Man ain't even there. So I'm just
So
saying.
that's where a lot of it
I'm
came from.
totally not surprised.
It was the whole spiral effect.
Well, I'm just saying that energy, like I said, that energy was like from the first day. And I think I said that. I thought it was inappropriate and that wasn't the setting. Because I'm like, I don't know if somebody ready to fight, like what's about to pop off. I mean, not that I was scared or nothing, but ain't nobody coming for this shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, you, So, okay, now I know. I just happened to see that today. So, and you sitting over there.
I'm producing. I don't know what you're talking about.
I ain't really talking about anything. But you know me, I'm an ass. But I want to know.
So we are back live, and I have my CEO joining me because he said he felt some type of way about that comment, and he wants to weigh in. So, tell us what you think about that comment.
The whole thing is what the media brings to the whole situation is it just informs people. I don't think I agree with you that I feel that people would feel some type of way, whether it's Lil Ray in the hood or in this case Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. The media tends to spin spotlight on who they decide they want to shine on.
I agree.
Regardless of the situation, I really think that people got to understand that regardless, we lost another one of ours.
Yes.
And they got to get out of this whole thing of, because, you know, one of the things that I do, I listen to talk radio on a regular basis, and I was listening to the Rude Jude show today, and he was talking about how people were literally going on Instagram and bashing people for for sending their condolences to his family. Like, you know, you didn't know him, you never rocked his music, and so on and so forth. None of that even matters at this point.
Exactly.
The simple fact of the matter is a good guy was cut down too short.
Yeah.
And that's it. You know, so how you may feel about it or what you may have done in regards to his artistry and his legacy in the past has nothing to do with it anymore. Everybody's got their right to mourn or feel some type of way based on what happened. But I do agree that media outlets do need to spend more time focusing on, you know, shedding light on these situations, because a lot of things do get lost in the sauce, I should say.
Right. Yeah. So what do you think some of the more important things I think though is like you say, you get on social media, and yes, the media, you know, they highlight these things, but what I think there needs to be a change in the narrative and how we. I think there needs to be a change in the narrative and how we present the change to others. I think that'll be the most important thing. How we present the change that needs to come from us. Once we figure out, I think, a clever way, a way, again, that's going to ignite some sort of passion inside of others, then and only then will we be able to change that narrative. I think the narrative will continue to be what the narrative is, because people will start something and they won't finish it. And I think it's mainly because once they started, they see what it takes to, you know, to get it done. And some people just don't want to do it. They want the easy way out. But this issue and this situation is not a take the easy way out type of issue. I think we really need to sit down and figure out the deep-rooted problems and tackle those, because ultimately if you go in and you just do a quick 1-2, I'm going to put this Band-Aid over it for the time being, it's not going to make a difference. It's not going to make a difference. And also, they're probably going to end up right back at square one. Most of us, we weren't raised learning how to save, invest, you know, let alone how to give back to the community in a more formidable way that has a lasting effect, a lasting and trickling effect. So as adults, once we learn those things and those practices, I think it's really important that, we teach them to the younger generation so that they can teach them to their younger generation. It's really a generational thing. And if we set the tone and we show them, as someone said on my Instagram feed, if we show them instead of telling them, but if we show them and help them learn the way, then it's something different than just talking at them. It's a difference when you talk with them, when you sit with them, when you ask them what are their problems, when you ask them what are their needs so that those needs can be met. It's a difference between doing that and just saying, oh, okay, I'm gonna help you with this one thing, or I'm gonna help you stay out the street for an hour, and then after that, that's it. That's not enough. It's not enough. Things are being done, but it's just not enough. Because if it was enough, the rate wouldn't increase. From week to week, I think last week when it got warm, it was like an increase by like 32 or something. And that may be the wrong number, so don't quote me on that. But I know it was an increase in, as soon as it gets warm, it's like people lose their damn minds. Like, what, you left your mind back in the cold weather? Go get it. Like someone said, we have to pass the torch. We do. And we have to pass the torch appropriately. Like, we can't, this is one of those things we can't half-ass. And I think that, I'm not going to say that, let me make this disclaimer. I'm going to say this next statement. And it does not take away from anybody in the community that has been making a difference thus far. It does not. But I feel like we have to pass the torch, and we have to pass the full torch. We cannot do a half-ass job at doing it. We have to remember what's the news, purpose, ratings, and numbers. That's true. We have to lead by example. That's true. Someone on my feed, like she said, she sees it every day at work. And it's because she deals with it firsthand. And so, it starts at home, though, too. Honestly, that's a good, it starts at home. So that's why I feel like the most important, I think the very first step is to figure out what these kids' home life is like. I think we need to really see what these children's home life is like. And then that's where we start with making a change. We start with the home life. We can't change their home life. No, we cannot. But we can start there, and we can make a difference by providing them with a different type of experience, so that when they do go home, they'll remember what it is that they learned outside of their household. Like someone said, it's sad, but it's facts. The news won't get the numbers pushing Lil Ray Ray from the hood. That's true. I think if we tackle what the issues are at home and what they're missing at home, again, I know that we cannot be their parents. But if we start there, I think that's a really, really good start. I'm about to bring Omni on because I want to know what she thinks. She has a little boy. So I want to know what she thinks about what we need to do to change. I think it's starting at home. The more I talk, the more it comes to me that I think we need to start at home. What are the issues at the house? What you think?
I mean, I think you can start there all you want. But, well, first let me say this. I feel like we are a community that is always having a conversation about something and not producing action.
Yes.
It's great to sit and talk when these things happen. It's great to talk about how sad we are and all that other stuff, but what are we actually doing about it? I want people to stop talking about it and stop trying to figure it out and start doing it. When you see these kids on the street acting a fool, say something.
Yes.
Start causing some effect in their lives. I mean, I do have a boy, and it scares me at times, but I'm also getting to the point with him that I trust what I'm instilling in him, that he knows he's better than that. That even if he stumbles into it for a little bit, because I even believe there are people that have moments, they stumble into it, they make a couple of mistakes, that he's going to know, because him and myself and his father are instilling in him that he's better than that, and he can do whatever he wants to be. He's not left in just that mindset of he's stuck in D.C. Yeah. You can get out of D.C. You can get out of wherever you're at. So I do think it definitely starts at home with that constant building on, yeah, sun is getting warm, people acting stupid. That constant building on both sides, not just from mothers, but from fathers as well. And you don't have to be a child's father to be a father figure. Exactly. So I think that is a major thing that these boys, and even these girls that don't have fathers, have some sort of male presence around them, even if it's just a friend, even if it's like whatever it may be. I look at it like this: if my son knows you and I've introduced you to my child, you are now a figure in his life.
Yes.
Period. He's watching everything you're doing. Mm-hmm. If I bring you around, he sees you more than once. You have an effect on his life. So that's why I'm very particular with where I bring my child to, who I bring my child around, who I'm okay with him sitting around. There are people that Tyler will be in the room with that I just don't introduce him to.
Right.
And that should tell you something, because I introduce him to everybody. Exactly. So if it, like Kat was saying, vibes. If I get that bad vibe, I'm not introducing you.
That energy.
He won't be there.
Shoot, because JR, if he even think your energy off, he gonna look at you like, he may speak, but you ain't getting nothing more than just a hi.
And I'll even
and that's it.
Tyler will tell me if he's not vibing with, he will say, "Mommy, I don't like that person." Yeah. Or I feel, and it's very rare. So when he does say that, those are things I pay attention to. So I think that that's important. Also, I think the major thing with our youth and getting them early, they have nothing to do.
Yes.
Like, I can remember growing up, we were always in something. There was always something going on. There was always something in community centers. There was always something outside. These churches were throwing things. You know, another major thing, Unifest. Kids were always at that, always doing something. The community was coming together. Festivals. Like, that stuff is gone.
Festivals with bands, the go-go bands and the rappers from the area. So,
and it was something
and it was no violence.
It was no, Unifest, they had that one little...
The Unifest had one
incident where it was shut down. But even those things, you had people at those events that were actually talking to the kids. If it was a fight, they were breaking it up. They were having conversations, and then people squashed it and moved on. Yeah. It's just like, it's nothing for these kids to do. So if we're not bringing back the activities and the recs, if these community centers don't have the support of the parents, where parents are volunteering and willing to get out there for not just your child, but somebody else's child that's down the street, you never know what you could stop.
Right. You
never know what you could affect. So
someone said they need to be taught love. The world is lacking love. We have too many egotistical people in the world. Like, these kids need to be taught love, because it's something that we're lacking. That's something that we need to start with, teaching love. Another person said we have to be an outlet and we have to be available. We have to commit to others just as we commit to ourselves. And I totally agree to that. That's why I said, like you said, we start the conversation, or we may even start the actions that it takes, but we don't finish it. Like you said, because like you said, there's a lack of commitment. Someone else says a lot of it comes from broken homes, or the parents are stuck in a quote-unquote grind cycle, so they can't tend to their children the way that they need to. I completely agree with that as well. We all out here trying to get it, and I get that. I get that we're all out here trying to make a way for our kids and, the future generations. However, I do think it's important to step away from the grind and remember that, these moments when our kids are at their young, these adolescents, preteen, whatever ages, that these are the moments that we need to be present. And like you say, instilling in our kids that, there's more to life than what you see on social media. I think, too, that is a problem. Our kids are technology has ran rampant. And I think our kids, their faces are so in the social media world and the internet world that they're seeing things and they're thinking that it's cool. It's quote-unquote cool because these people are getting money and they have status and they're this and they're that. And I think they're taking that and they're thinking that this is how they have to be because they're seeing these rappers. They're people that they look up to. They're seeing these celebrities brandish guns and do all this stuff in these videos. and they're thinking that this is a way of life that they want to live. So they're then retreating to it because they want to be cool. You know, they're thinking that it's cool. It's not cool. But I think that it's making our kids want to be grown faster than what they need to be. Someone else said there are not enough community outreach, especially if a parent isn't in a child's life. Someone said most kids grow up lacking the attention they need, so they become a young teen acting out and ending up in the wrong crowd.
Not that you all, but I always pose this to people as I think back. Have things gotten worse for my son's generation and a little bit before his? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Is this not stuff that we went through growing up, that our parents went through growing up? So I think about stuff like that, and I think about the difference. And what I'll say is this, because my mom was definitely an on her grind mother. I was the only child she stayed home with. But even with that, she still had other obligations. She still had things she was doing. My father was into politics. When my parents were absent, my siblings were around. When my siblings were absent, my aunts were around. When they were absent, my cousins were around. When they were absent, my friends' mothers was around. Like, we had people that were in place that you may not see me, but you gonna see somebody. Somebody gonna see you. And I think that's the difference now. Like, my next door neighbor had children. And there was some incident where one of the little boys fell, and I ended up helping the little boy and just taking him back to her. And she was like, people don't do this anymore. Like, I don't understand that thought process as a mom. If you see a child hurting or dealing with something, that you just don't say anything. You just walk past it. Yeah. And you just turn a blind eye.
You know, I think the issue is this. I think the issue is our generations of kids, because that's what they are having kids at a younger and younger and younger age. And they're having kids at these young ages, and their parents may even be at the point where, because if they're having kids at a young age, clearly they probably already been acting, you know, they already been on the loose for a while at this point. Listen, I worked firsthand at Children's National Medical Center. I did inpatient psychiatric work. I worked with children anywhere from the age of 5 years young to 18 years old, okay? 5 years young. Can you imagine at 5 years old having to be on a psych unit?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Okay? So just imagine how much stuff a 5-year-old would have to go to actually have a mental break. So if you think about going from 5 years of age to 18 and you're in and out, 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 in and out. I had an 18-year-old's parent say, this is my last time. This is my last time. Once she improves this time, I don't care what y'all do with her. But don't call me. And when I say this parent was serious, she was serious. When treatment was done, literally though, only thing that was wrong with that little girl was that she just needed somebody to talk to. She wanted somebody to talk to. And most of them, because their parents are having them at young ages, they don't know how to parent their child. They're too busy, one, trying to be their friends to look cool because they're so young having them. They're too busy trying to look cool. So it starts with that. And then when it's time to actually rear up their child like they're supposed to do, that means if they're doing something bad, you're actually making consequences. You're setting consequences that you have to actually deal with if you're doing something that you know you're not supposed to be doing. There's nothing in place. When you're young, you don't really know what you're doing, and then your parents are giving up on you because you didn't have this baby at a young age. This cycle is a vicious cycle that now is just going to keep perpetuating itself and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So now you have this child that's a problem, and here she is getting put off on a psych ward. The staff of a psych ward. We can't take those kids home. We can try to make a difference in their lives while we're there. That's what our goal is. especially for the teenagers. I think I flocked more to the teenagers and wanting to make a difference in their lives because I knew what it was like to maybe not have somebody to talk to growing up as a teenager. The good thing and the difference, though, was that my mother instilled values and morals and different principles in us. And again, it's one of those things where we said, these days we don't have that village that we used to have. Everybody, again, wants to turn a blind eye to what's really going on in our communities and these children who actually need the help. You can see a child every day walking down the street who may not have a coat on this cold and don't say anything. How? Back in the day, it would have been like, baby, come here. Where's your coat at?
Where's your coat? Where your mama?
Where your mama at and where your coat at?
But I even think to what you said. I think parents have to also realize, young or not, parenting is an ever-evolving, ever-changing thing. And it's okay to get tired. It's okay to feel like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this child. I had those moments with my son, and he hasn't done anything major.
Right.
But I could just be tired. It is a heavy responsibility. It's a heavy duty deal. And I'm thankful because, again, the village that I had growing up, I got a whole nother village as a mom. Right. That I'm like, look, I need just take him. Just take him for a little bit. Just let me get myself together. Cool. But when you got parents that if your child has made a mistake and they get pregnant young, you just, well, that's your issue. Go on, deal with it. And you just step away from that's not building anything in that new parent that's already trying to deal with, okay, I gotta grow up. Mm-hmm. I'm not really an adult yet. I gotta grow up and now I gotta raise this child.
A whole child.
You can still give consequences, but still give consequences with love.
Right.
And that's the major thing for me. Like there's, like you said, there's no more love. There's no more outside of let's pull out our phone and record. There's no more love.
Oh my goodness. That's another thing. Like I'm so sick of this younger generation too. Like they're so hell bent on like doing it for the gram. Like even the people in our age brackets, old, young alike. I swear, I'm so tired of seeing people pulling out their phone recording stupid, senseless shit. Excuse my expression. Like seriously, if you see two groups of teenagers fighting, you all of y'all probably got kids their age at home, and y'all sitting there with your phone out. Come on, like seriously, I feel like it's about 6 of y'all, and y'all standing there with y'all phone out. All 6 of y'all could take 3 on one side, 3 on the other side of both of the groups, and y'all can break these kids up, and then you can speak to them in a sensible manner, and you can let them know, like, enough is enough. We don't need to do this anymore. Like, seriously, I'm so sick of social media. And the bad part about it, though, is when you're trying to be, nowadays, I'll say nowadays, when you're trying to have multiple businesses and multiple streams of income coming in, unfortunately, it seems like the only way it can be done is on damn social media. I'm tired of social media. I am. Because I feel like while there are plenty of people on social media promoting positivity and peace amongst one another and things of that nature, I feel like there's too many people on social media promoting negativity. Like I said, the guy talked about the comments on his on the Instagram and why were people sending condolences to a celebrity when they didn't know him. I mean, scroll past it and keep it moving. Too many, yes, the love is missing, but I feel like too many people it's so much easier these days for people to promote negativity, and they make it seem like it's hard to be positive. We're about to wrap up. But just know that this isn't the end of what you'll hear from me. There probably won't be another topic on the radio show, but definitely look out on my social media at Conversations with S.H.E, all one word. NOG Radio DC, if you aren't following. We got Kat in the building too, y'all. She coming up next at 8. Definitely, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you can DM me if you have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas. Let's all each one, reach one, teach one. Listen, let's make a difference. listen, I ain't gonna be ashamed. I'm 34. So anybody in my age generation that's ready to make a change and reach back to our youth, because I know it's a bunch of you all in my age bracket and coming up on 30 that can do and make a difference. Let's each one reach one, teach one. We gotta get this together in these streets, guys. Listen, as always, thank you guys for listening. I definitely appreciate your support, your love. It means all the world to me. We're right back here next week, 7 o'clock. Conversations with She. Next week, we're gonna be light next week. We're gonna have 21 questions next week. So y'all stay tuned for that. I know y'all probably wondering, 21 questions. 21 questions. Listen, as always, I love you guys.
You been social media guy.
At Conversations with She, all one word. The bio in my link on my Conversations with She page is for my YouTube channel. That's what I was trying to get out. I'm sorry, y'all. I was trying to get it out. I couldn't get it out. I was stuck for a second. On my Instagram page, go follow the link in my Instagram page for my YouTube channel. I will be getting some of my old videos this week, some of the old recordings, so you guys, whoever missed the first 3 episodes, can listen to those episodes. So make sure you tap that link in that bio and subscribe. We'll probably have a contest next week. But listen, wow. I say a prayer for you guys. Say a little prayer for me. I love you. And as always, thank you for joining Conversations with She. I don't know why I couldn't get it out.
Who did the website I saw today?
Tammy.
Oh, okay.
Thank you guys for joining me. I don't know why I could not get that out. I was like sitting there looking at the thing.
Stuck like that.
I was looking at it like,
All right, swear.
I'm about to say.
I'm like, what's wrong? I'm like, what are you trying to say?
Don't let something else pop in your head in the middle of thought. I be sitting there stuck like that too. Like,
listen,
damn,
I knew that I wanted to say say my my YouTube link is in my bio. I knew that's what I wanted to say, but I'm like, I could not get it out for the life of me. Thanks, guys, for joining me. I love you all. My 3 biggest supporters, they always stay online with me.
good.
Yes, my niece, my friend Tasha, and my friend Tasia.
That's what I'm talking about.
They be on it all the way through. All the way through. I don't even took my whole goddamn iPad case apart.